Hi, everyone. My name is Matthew HU, and I'm today's trainer. So welcome, I guess, welcome to our FineReport training section. So this training section is for complete beginners. If you never ever used this product before, you're in the perfect spot. So today, I would like to show you how to using FineReport from very beginning, starting from installing it for free, and creating a general report and sharing it with your team. So that's pretty much our goal for today. So at the end of this section, you're not only able to understand what's general reports in this product, but also understand. I'm sorry. Actually, allowing is now. Sorry, we're actually gonna how to say this, share this training recording with you guys later on, but just please don't try to record locally. Yeah, thank you. So at the end of this section, you're not only able to understand general reports in this product, but also you will get general picture about just build a base understanding about this product in general. So before we start, I do have a two assumption to our to today's attendance. So the first one, it will be everyone already has their application ready at the PC. So I actually will partially skip the downloading and the installation process. Some people might gonna ask, oh, if you already made assumption like this, why you still want to show us the downloading process, right? Well, good question. I would say, just for people who actually gonna watch this recording, content later on, they need this material, included. And also, installation always is the very first thing for users to know, how any software works, right? So just for the record, I guess, for people who already has their application down on their PC, please bear with me for a second. And also, yeah, another assumption I have is that people already learned SQL in the past, just because knowing SQL is kind of like, pre-requirement for using this product or application. So first thing first, I would like to give you guys a overview about this training in general, including the topics and the scope and how this training is structured, and when you can ask a question or taking break. So as you can see on my screen right now, this is an Excel file, or this is today's agenda in Excel file form. So as you can see, I guess you guys already have time to read it. We do have two sections. First section, 15 minutes with 10 minutes water break, and another 40 minutes with the in section for the section number 2. And that's the duration, and you can see the things I list. So I list like 3 different modules and the different, the function under each module. Of course, I'm not gonna give you guys like a very detail-oriented training based on, about like everything in here, but I would try my best to cover as much as I can. And yeah, personally, I do prefer, question has been during the, sorry, I do prefer, you guys ask question during the water break, but if you do have a question, you can just type in the chat box, and my friend Sable will actually answer the question through the text. So do you have any questions before we start, start? Yeah. If you do have any, just please type in the chat box. If you don't have, just saying you're okay, or we are good to go. All right. So I guess we're okay then. So let's get started, I guess. So basically, FineReport is a it's a Java-based data visualization application for business intelligence and the reporting purpose. And as you can see, this is our official site about the FineReport, right? So what I'm gonna do right now is I actually gonna show you how to download this program. So what you need to do is you just go to the official site by searching like a FineReport, and you see this free trial button on your top right. Just click this FineReport, and you will go to this information page. So basically, you just choose the information you need. So in this case, you type your email address and your position and your full name right there. And my name is Matthew HU, and this is my email address. So if you do have any questions, for the section, feel free to message me. And yeah. And after that, you just put the information in here about the company and the company size, and then the reason why you need these. And if you are just watching, recording content, just please click this webinar. I know you actually, watch these and put your numbers right there. Since I already did it, you just get the SMS code and then click download. So in a second, you will see a download box appear in your browser. I already have it. So I'm actually gonna click discard instead of keep, because I was using Mac OS, right? So if you, just click to keep if you never have it, if you don't have the application in your PC. This step is important because you actually got this activation key code to activate your application. I mean, that's something that you need to do. Using someone else's activation code might not work. That's why, just remember do this. So after you have application downloaded, you just pretty much click next multiple times, and keep everything as a default settings. And after the installation, you will see you will see like a option that's either you're going to choose internal database or external database. So for the tutorial purpose, you're just choosing internal database is good to go. So that's pretty much the downloading process, right? So today, yeah, next thing what I want to show you guys is what FineReport actually can do. Since I assume everyone is pretty new to this program. I do have apparently I didn't really click this well. So I do have this training content. Get ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you what FineReport can achieve. So as you can see, this is a CPT file. So when I say CPT file, this is a file type for one of the reports in the in this product. So as you can see, how this file called order information list. It's a like short video clip. So as you can see, this is a report. This is like a general report, right? So as you can see, users can choose different criteria or different parameters and do a query, based on the information they choose, right? Apparently, order information has been listed based on the region, customer, or either paid status of paid or not, right? So that's what's called general report. And the one we're going to make is also general report, but I think it will be a little bit different. And I would like to show you something else instead, beside this general report. So FineReport actually do have different type of report. One report called FRM is the file type for the report. It's called dashboard. So if I just click this one of these sales dashboard, as you can see, so basically dashboard is like, it's kind of a report that's contain multiple components. There is like a line chart, table, column chart, and a map, right? If you click the map, you see this interaction, the information in different components has been changed, based on the, like whatever you click, right? And also you can jump over, between different reports. And some people may gonna say, oh, this it's kind of like a dry, or it's not that pretty. To be honest, I feel the same. That's why actually I have something else I prepared. So this is something that's actually, it's a part of training content, but not for today, but for the dashboard. So that's something that I made for the training purpose. So as you can see, you can choose different timestamp. on over there, and also you can choose like a region, right? And by basic, you can of course you can click different kind of like product over there, and you see different component also has been changed based on the selection you made later, right? So that's a dashboard. But this one has I would say have more design in terms of UI and also the color choosing and the styling and stuff like that. So but of course we're not gonna make this today, or that would be something that we'll do eventually. Beside these two, we actually have something quite new in FineReport 11. So this one, instead of just give you guys like dry word, I will just show you show the video clip instead. So as you can see, this is a 3D module has been applied in this report, right? So it's pretty much it's a campus, it's a university, and of course you can zoom in, zoom out, and you can surround it. And if you click a library, the information of the library gonna appear. If you click like teaching building or gym or stuff like that. So I guess that's something that's pretty I would say fancy in terms of visualization purpose. So I really want to share this with you guys. I guess that's the reason. This I mean we can wait for a bit, but I think I have another one I want to show you. So this one's about the water pipe. I mean, so as you can see, there's a flow going through different equipment, and by setting the certain how to say like warning line, you actually can see some equipment turning red, right? So that's something that's what people are looking for nowadays in terms of dashboard design. Something that's not only showing data but also showing that some equipment or some part of their business need to pay more attention now. So that's something. So I guess for people who already signed this training, you already know what we're gonna make today. So that's what I'm gonna show you. So what we're gonna make is called Get Started. I mean, actually this file open in advance, but yeah. So this is called Get Started file, right? We're gonna make something like this. But actually, I changed my plan slightly or a little bit just because I think this report doesn't really have I mean, it's okay, but I think in terms of design or in terms of UI, I still have something to improve, right? So I actually made this Get Started version 2 over there. So don't be surprised if you see something different, but the content or the things. The content is pretty much the same. It's just the UI changed a little bit. So what I just click, I actually click the preview button. So I did this on purpose just because I want to show you this. What you will see after you click the preview for the first time. So what you're gonna see, you will see this decision-making platform. So this is what this application was designed, which means you have your application in your PC, but when you click the preview, it actually relays on your browser to show the result. So what you need to do is you need to just put your login information in there. If you just for the first time, you're actually gonna ask to create admin user. So that's something you need to do, or something that I didn't really show in there. So if I click next, yes, you will see. I mean, I should really change these, but I mean, the reason why I want to show you this is that you actually can customize this decision-making platform. So let's go back to let me see. Okay. So what I want to do right now is that I actually want to. I mean, this is an example I made. I think yesterday. Today is 13th. Yep. So this is the dash. I mean, that's the final work for for today. So, the thing is, making this report or I mean, just making this report in front of you guys is kind of like, pointless, because I think our focus is actually focused on the, the key, like the functionality or key functionality, under each module. So what I'm gonna say is I actually gonna switching between different the functions. Like I actually gonna switching, between different topics. So you might get confused a little bit, but I think it will be the best way for you guys to learn in that way, instead of just, making report for you guys, because you guys not able to do anything else beside that report. So that's something that I would say. So we are still in the process of, opening an introduction part, and we now gonna move on to the user interface. So after you open the application, you will see something like this, right? This is a UI. So as you can see, let me use the pen a little bit. I think that will help. So as you can see, the top is like on your top of the top of the screen has a navigation bar and a toolbar, and over there you will see this like file and the data connection panel. And the body part, right, is pretty much the dashboard. I wouldn't say dashboard, sorry. I was saying the report body. And the one over there on your right is about the attribute panel. Of course, I'm not gonna cover everything in there, just because you guys don't remember what I was saying. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm just gonna cover the content that we're gonna use in this section. So for example, when I click the file, right, you see all different type of full reports. Remember I was saying, oh, we got like a general report, like a dashboard, right? That's what we're talking about. So general report, the file type is CPT, as you can see over there. As you can see over there. Yeah, I mean, it's bad drawing. Sorry, let me try one more time. CPT, yeah. And also we have like a dashboard, right? And some people FVS is something that's the one has a 3D module include. And for the aggregation report, I would say you don't really have to worry about this right now, because based on my experience or based on the clients I talk to, they don't really use aggregation reports. Instead of most of them, they're just using general report and the dashboards, because the functionality or what they can do between the general report and dashboard, general report and aggregation report is pretty much the same. It just, the dependency of the components is slightly different. So I think we can just focus on the general report for now. So that's the file part, right? And another things I want to highlight is the export. If you like move your mouse on the export, you see this Excel, right? Some people get confused, like, oh, your guys UI is like Excel-ish UI. How this is related to the Excel, right? Good question. I like that. So what I want to show you is that I actually do have an Excel file that's ready on my download file. This is called financial sample, right? I just opened it. As you can see, you got like a bunch of data in Excel, right? Column, Canada. I don't know what it is, to be honest. Like a bunch of numbers and currency, whatever, right? So what I want to show you is that you actually can use a FineReport to open the Excel file, or regular Excel file or the normal Excel file. When I say regular Excel means, if there's no image in there or if there's no function in there, you can just open Fine. So for example, the one we actually got color in here, right? So let's see what can happen. So I went to the designer. Sorry, I come back to the designer. I'll go to designer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click file, and there's open. Go to download training content Excel, right? Same file, financial sample. If I just opened it, so you can see this Excel file just fine, but you notice the color is gone, right, of the header. So my point is, if you have like a regular Excel file, just contain the data, right? You can just using a FineReport to open it. It's quite helpful because I think in many business or in many companies, they actually have trouble they are facing the information. So how can I say? So for example, for business people, they have data in the Excel way, in the Excel file. But for people who are actually holding the data for the company, they actually using database instead, right? So that's actually something our FineReport try to do. Make connection between the business people and the people who actually like developers, I would say. So that's the something about the Excel, about this like toolbar or navigation bar. So another thing I want to point out is when you move your mouse to the template, and there is a thing called page setup. So why this is important? Because what FineReport eventually do is they're gonna visualize the data, right? For example, I'm using my PC to do it. My friend using like their PC. The screen size is not the same. So I think one common like problem people are facing is that I did my report on my PC, it works just fine, but in the different like environment or in different PC, it shows something different. So that's something that I suggest is that you do the page setup every time. If you know this report will work for multiple people, like work by multiple people, yes. So you actually can make sure that everyone has same page settings, and they actually can, eventually work on the same thing, and make sure that the result will be the same. Yep. And next, it will be the like a data connection. So data visualization or BI tool, it pretty much transfer the data into an image form, right? Of course, you do need to connect the data first. So FineReport provides a way to connect data. It's called Define Data Connection. If you just download the application, you actually do have a few connections already made in your PC. So so this is something. It's more like for the learning purpose or for the tutoring purpose. You don't really have to worry about this right now. But I still want to explain, what's going on right there. So for example, that's the one we're going to use. It's called FineReport Demo EN. That's the name that we created for this connection, right? And also that's the JDBC connection, and you have database and you have driver, and you can find where this file located and the name, password. So well, it's not like what you need to do, but one thing to check the connection is valid or not, you can just click this test connection, right? So they actually tell you, oh, this connection is okay or not. So click OK. And after that, I have one more thing I want to show you is that remember in the beginning, I was talking about the SQL, right? So having connection is not enough. You do need using queries to get your data from. So as you can see, what I clicked is on the over there on the left hand side, and there's a plus sign, and you can just so you can just click this DB query, and you can get a data from there. So the one I'm going to use, sales volume. So what I click is I actually drag and drop, right? So you can select the name, or you can, of course, you can type it, right? So that would be something that you can do. So another thing I want to show you is about the insert. So so basically you have two options. One is about you can insert elements in the cell, or you can insert the elements in the float, like as a floating element. So it's not like on the level of cell. It's more like a top layer. Why this is important? Because I mean the features is not the same. For example, if you insert elements in a cell, right, the position of that element is fixed. However, for the floating one, it's not the same because you can like it, can moving around, right? As you can see, I actually moving this like line chart, column chart a little bit, right? Yeah. And what else? Yeah, two more things. One thing is about the parameters. Remember in the report, we actually can choose, let's say we choose East China, right? Information has been changed. Choose the North, information gonna be changed as well. So what this can do, I mean, what this part called, it's called parameter control panel. So what I want to show you is like we have somewhere to control the parameters about the report. So if I just go back to the designer, the how template parameters, right? That's something that's we're going to play in the later. So click OK. We will focus on this later on. And after that, we got a different preview mode. So after I wouldn't say finish, like after I did something on my report, right? I'm gonna preview it. So if you just click this preview button, definitely works. But we actually have different type of preview mode. It's not really relevant to our topic today, but I still want to show you just because it's quite confusing if you don't really know this in the first place. So if you click this, how can I say, like this arrow, downside arrow. Yeah, downside arrow, you'll see an option that's, they're gonna ask you, oh, what kind of preview mode you want to get, right? So you have like data entry preview or different like mobile preview. I do have my notes with me instead of like, clicking everything. Preview modes, right? So that's the preview mode. I wouldn't say you don't really have to understand. You don't really have to understand everything now, but I just want to say that, oh, you got different preview mode and you can see the differences on the, on the top of your screen, right? It's not they're not the same. And also you can see this in the URL. URL address is not the same as well, even though it's the same file. So that's something about the preview mode. And I'm gonna close this window. All right. Okay, close these. So what we're gonna do next is we're actually gonna create or recreate this get started. You do have multiple ways to create a new report. Of course, you can just do it through this way by clicking new report, right? And also you can actually do somewhere in here. Yeah, it's also a way to create a new report. We're gonna stay with the second one just because I already had this one. Although we already has seen the final result about what we're gonna make, but I do really wanna give you guys a story behind this report, just to make sure that everyone know what I'm doing, or help you guys to understand what I'm doing. Just because usually the training should be I do something, you guys do something and ask question, like that, right? But because of time limit, I'm just gonna do everything myself today. So here's the story. So let's say there's a trading company in mainland China, and they sell snacks and drinks. So they have their sales and the sales data and the record in a database called sales volume. So what they want is they want to actually visualize these sales, each sales performance, and to make some compare contrast, find a potential strategy to improve their selling performance based on their data. So that's the reason why they want to make this report. So I just clicked the preview because I want you guys to see what the result will be. So I think it will be be easier. So as you can see, this is the report, right? So before I click anything, all this information has been appeared, and you see, region, sales, product with a number in there, with some color design in there, and also you got like what's it called, like column chart. or line chart, and now you got like a pie chart. If you click, I mean, if I click like this pie chart, right? Did I click something? Yeah. So if I click the pie chart, right, you see the table, the information of the table has been changed. They're only gonna appear the information about East China. And you see this parameter linkage between, so that's something that we're gonna make. And also something that I already showed is about like choosing the parameters, right? So for example, if I choose the North China, you see the information has been changed as well, right? Same as this column chart, not the pie chart. So, so first thing first, create a report. We already have the story in our head. So report is right there. First thing, page setup, right? Remember, we want to make sure that everyone, if you follow this tutorial or this training, you will, end up look something exactly the same if you're using different PC with different screen size, right? So let's say put everything as a 5 for the margin. Right? And what I want to do next is that I actually want to see what I got. Actually, I remember this. So actually, so what I'm going to do is I actually want to create a table first, right? So before that, I need to change the column width, right? So for example, I'm going to change these at 5 millimeters, and from B to I think that's 22. And I will be 22 as well. And J, well, I guess for now I need to stop a little bit. Did you see this column J, and this dotted line? Yep. So basically, dotted line is like a page separator. I wouldn't say page. Well, it's kind of like a page separator. So basically, information on your right-hand side in here, right, will appear in the page number 1. And the information in here will appear in page number 2. So, this dotted line, it's something that you can relate down to distinguish, where this information will be appeared. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna change this width as a 5 as well. So I think they will gonna go to the page number 1. Yes, thank you. And then I will choose maybe like a 1 to 6 row height became 5 for now. So did you see little star right there? Yeah, little star right there. Okay, let me see. It means this file has been modified, right? Of course, I can just click Control S or using shortcut. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna click this save button instead. So they're gonna ask me to save this report, right? So I will save this as April 13. I mean, that's the first things that came up in my mind. So yeah, maybe not the best name you can get, but So we have this file ready, right? First thing we actually want to put the headers, right? So let's zoom up a little bit. Oops. Okay, from A to E, let's say. So I want to merge this cell into one. So let's call this as I don't really remember the name of type. Yeah, region cell summary. Okay. So I'm gonna copy paste to save some time and put this in the middle. So what I want to do next is I want to merge these 4 cells together, put the headers in there, right? So what I want to do is I want to actually insert a slash. It should appear in here, but because my screen size it's a relatively small, I guess, so it didn't really appear in there. So if one thing you need to do is just click this and you'll see this slash. Some people might gonna ask, oh, why my toolbar missing some tools over there, right? That's why, because my screen or our screen is not big enough. So yep, that's the thing. So you click slash. So apparently they do have instruction in there already. I don't really remember which one's which. So I'm just gonna do the testing. So ABC, right? Click OK. Oh, you see C is located in this way, B is over there, A is over there, right? Let me check the rules. So region, sales, product, right? Okay. I'm just gonna copy paste it just because I think it's save more time. I know you guys not came here for see my typing, right? So yep. So oops. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna type product, sales, region. Apparently, you see the size a little bit off, right? So let's see. I see why. Okay. So one of feature of FineReport is you will get what you see in the dashboard. So this is definitely not okay because you see this region has been cut, right? I noticed the reason it's not really good because you don't want to see this like region appear in this way, right? So I think one thing you can do, you actually can make this bigger, like that. But because I want to make sure everything, the same as I designed in the beginning, so I'll make this at 10 instead. I think this will appear information okay, but let's do 5. Okay, and this need to be, I think 10 instead. I will show you why. So as you can see, region, sales, product, right? And I want to put product information in there if I remember this correctly. Not designer, browser actually. So you see, this is the product name, right? And this is the region, and this is the sales name. And this is the actual number. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna merge these two cells into one. And this merges into one, and this will be the product. And this will be a total, I think, or sum total. And this will be the region. And this will be the sales, right? So after we have this information ready, but we're kind of like missing where we're gonna get this data, right? So I actually go to our next topic about like data connection. So since I already mentioned that we already have a data connection set it up for the tutorial purpose, what we need to do next is we just need to get the data by using SQL. So what you need to do is by clicking this DB query, add a new DB query on your left-hand side. So remember where this data are located. It's called sales volume. I think I mentioned this in the beginning when I tell the story. So as you can see, this is a sales volume, right? So I can click that, I can double click it, and the sales volume is right there. And of course, I can drag and drop it, and the sales select everything from there. So you can name these as well. For the in the production level or in the production environment, you better have like meaningful name for each data connection. But these but for this time, I think having shorter name is better just because you will see why, because I want to show you something. So I will call this as sales volume, SV. So after I click OK, right? I can still modify it. I just noticed I actually forgot to mention that. Oh, you guys actually can click these to preview the data. And also there's a part in here, it's called database parameters. So for example, if you have parameters get involved in this query, they're actually gonna appear in here. So you can either set the default value for it, or you can do something for it. So that's something to know. So what I can do right now is I'm gonna click this preview button to see what information has been appeared, right? As you can see, they got 40 lines of data. Actually, I think this database has 90 lines of data. I just make it 100 for now. You will see. Click this, refresh. You see 90 lines of data has been previewed, and the maximum number of preview row is 100, right? So they got like 90 lines of data with it. So you can click OK, click OK. So one thing about FineReport, what designed is you can drag and drop this database in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna drag and drop this region to here. As you can see, SVG region. If I have a really long name in here, you're not gonna see this entire thing. You will see like the name of data connection, and .g and dot, right? So that's why in the beginning I will try to make this name as short as possible, just for the learning purpose. But in the production level, just have a meaningful name is important because multiple data connection name will confuse you a lot. Yeah. So next one, I will drag and drop the salesperson, right? As you can see, and the product and the total, right? Just make everything to the middle to make like more readable. And data in here will be sales volume. So if I click a preview, you will see something very ugly. That's why I wouldn't do it for now. So actually, we need to switch to our next like our topic. It's called cell extension. I had my notes in there. It's in Outlook, and there's it's in here, cell extension. So I'm gonna click a preview, and you guys will see a new tab on my browser. So this is the definition of the cell extension. I wouldn't read it because I think I'm here, so I can do a little bit more than that. So basically, what cell extension is that saying that I have an example in here. So saying that this cell can be extended. Where do I know this? On your right hand side. Oh, not here. My bad. Apologies for that. Oops. So we're here. So as you can see, in here we do have data connection in here, right? And we have this cell in here, and this is an explanation saying that there is no expansion direction. So what we will see, you will see something like this. You see a bunch of number, as a string, or like you see a bunch of numbers in one box, right? Because there's no expand direction. However, if I do something else, like for example, this one has a horizontal expansion direction, right? What you can expect, you will see this number has been extended in this way. Like, I mean, that's what horizontal means, right? But yeah. So you see, bunch of number has been expanded, right? Like, or extended in this way. And of course, you can do vertical as well. And the example I have in here, see, my screen is not big enough, so you don't really see. My screen is not big enough. You don't really see another file in there, right? But you do see this. Go to next slide, right? This side. So if I click here, you will see another vertical. It's hidden somewhere. So if I click browser next, you will see this vertical expansion, right? So that's one thing you need to know. Another thing I would like to tell or to share with you guys is called children parent cell. This is the definition, very long. Don't read it, please. I will show you what you need to know for this report. So basically, like child-parent cell relationship in FineReport is that it's saying that in between the cells, you actually can find a hierarchy relationship between. Why this is important? Because the report can be very customized, right? The default setting is not enough, so you do need to allow users to customize the relationship between these cells. That's basically what this is for. So for example, the example I have in here, I'm using exactly the same example as you can see. Region cells is the same one, the one we actually going to use later on. We do have region information, sales information. And if you pay attention on your cell attribute panel, for example, if I click this, right now I'm clicking this B2 cell, right? You see information, left parent cell is A2. Oops. Can I go back? Yes. Right? So basically this panel was saying that, oh, B2 was depend on A2. And there's a relationship between that, right? If I move this a little bit, you will see the result. You see, region cells, that's a name. I mean, that's Chinese name. That's the region. Region cells, right? You see the relationship has appeared, right? And also, I think I forgot to mention that you see the expansion direction over there. Yeah, the vertical, right? So information gonna appear in this way. Information gonna appear this way, and of course you can do the vertical as well. So expansion direction like that, and I set all the cell relationship at the default. Okay, just because saying that this for any cell, right? Their default parent is like the one in here, the one in here. I think if you speak any language, most language was written in this way, right? And the new like line number 1 and the line number 2 will go here, right? I think it's bad at drawing. So this is number 1. So that's why where this default setting has been set up in this way. So you can find your default, parent cells are, so that's basically what it is. So as you can see, the result will be something like this. See regions right there, cells in there, right? Another example I have in here is that a very customized example. So this is a sales info card. So what I did is that I'm saying, so what I did is like I make every cell. So for example, if I can select multiple, right? You see this left parent cell relationship is everything is point to B3, right? Sorry, bad for not straight line, but I tried. So similarly for another ones, it's B3 as well, B3 as well, B3 as well. So what I'm saying is that this entire information card, it's all the information is related onto this cell. So it's kind of like, I would say key, but it's not really, but it's more like, this information, they have the same parents, which is this. So that's what this cell child parent cell relationship means, right? I guess at this point you might not 100% clear what I'm doing, but I think for our example, knowing these 3 examples will cover most, I think 75 to 80% of your practical usage or examples. I mean, in the production level or if you actually making report, knowing these 3 should be highly, more than enough. So let me go back to the report. So what I'm going to do right now is actually need to set up the cell extension, which, in here, and also need to set the parent cell relationship, right? That's something I need to do. So let's go through this one by one. So if I click this, I don't have to do much because there's no parents, right? I mean, the parents is none, right? So I think for now it's okay. But for this one, I don't need to do much as well because region, I mean, cells is depend on the region, right? And the one in here is slightly different because if you look at our result, you notice, the product has been extended in this way, right? So we do need to set the expansion direction a little bit different. So let's go back to the designer. So let's choose this as a horizontal instead. And when I click this total, right, you notice there's no expansion direction because, it's not expandable or there's no information to be expanded, right? So that's something. And the one about sales volume, this one actually need to set as a non-expansion. See, we just cover all the examples we need to cover. The reason why, because for one person, for one product, you just kind of need to have one number to match up, right? You don't need to expand it. So that's the reason. So what I'm gonna do is actually gonna make everything into the middle and make a frame around it or border around it by clicking this border button. And in here, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna calculate the total, right? So did you guys see the function fx in there? So I actually can do some calculation over there. Trying. Okay. So by clicking this fx, first click this EF and clicking this fx. So what I'm gonna do is actually put some function in there. As you can see, this will be sum d5. And after that, you can check the syntax. Seems okay because it's easy peasy. And then click save, and you click the preview. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake. Oh, cause if you can read, I know it's not sum, it's sun. Yeah, sorry, typo. You know, it happens. Yeah. So actually, you can see the information of the data right there, right? So for example, if I do something else like sum, it's over there. If you do like a mod, right, it's something over there. It's has in there, right? Information in there. So you don't really have to, you know, go to the documentation to find. You already have the information involved in here. So yeah. So click OK. All right. Click OK. Click the preview. Do you guys have any questions though? I don't know, any questions about the part we just mentioned, or anything not related to our topic is good as well. For example, for the question that's the latest question we have about the dashboard, information automatically get updated, right? The components the individual components in a dashboard can be updated, can be reloaded or updated. You know, that's without loading the entire page. But of course, you can actually reload your page in order to, you know, update all the data in all components. I don't know if I made myself clear, but I think whatever you want to do in this case actually is doable by using FRM. What else is email address? Through the you can find me through this email. Okay. No problem. I guess we can just continue then. All right. So this is output for our table, right? Apparently the region didn't really, you know, manage well. This part didn't manage well, and the color is not showed up, right? And also, yeah, I think that's it. So let's do this one by one, or fix this one by one. I think for the region part, what we need to do is we actually need to change the a length, right, or height about this row. That's something we can do. And okay, let's go here. It is actually the 5. It's 22. 22. I guess right now I'm just gonna make this longer a little bit just to see if I can fix it. So I'm gonna go click the save, and then I go to the browser, and if I click the reload, right? Yeah, the region has been fixed, right? Actually, there is something else I want to cover, but about the conditional formatting. That's how we made this happen. You know, the background color has been changed, right? I'm actually gonna skip this part because I want to make sure that we actually have enough time to cover the parameters and the chart. So I will save this later, save this for the later if we have time, because it's not really important in terms of functionality. It's more like a UI design, right? So, okay, let me close this window. So next part, the parameters control panel. Remember over there, we do have an option to choose oh, you know, this is choose different criteria to show different kind of information, right? East, north, right? Information has been appeared in there. So what we need to do is we need to add these components and also make a linkage between these parameters in here and make a linkage between these two, right? So first thing, we need to create this UI panel. And the second thing is we need to make the linkage, right? That's our plan. So let's go to the control panel first. So there is a very, I would say very like easy way to do it. It's just click the template and there's parameters, template parameters. So if you know like coding in general, you know, there are like parameters in different level. There's a local environment, global environment. In our case, we call it template parameters. So these parameters will work in our template only. So click the template parameters and there's add sign in here, right? And after click add, you will see stuff in there. So let's do it. So click add. So in here, we do need to follow, I would say, naming convention because we want to make sure that we know which parameters to which. We want to give a meaningful name, right? So for now, we'll just call it template parameters region, uppercase. You can only change your name in here about the parameters. You can change it in here, and you can try, but you know, it's just how the product was designed. So if you want to change the name of your product, you know, try to change it in here. Let me show you guys though. If I want to change the name, right? See, it's not doable if I click anything, but I can change the name in here. So plus equal, right? Okay. So after this template parameters has been created, what I want to do next is I want to go to this parameter control panel over there by clicking this add button, right? So if I click this add button, on your left-hand side, right-hand side, you will see this component setting. I was saying that, oh, these parameters is not being generated, right? So what you need to do, you just need to click this add it all, or you can just click the, you know, specific parameters you want to create. So I will click add it all, and you see this has a, you know, 3 components have been created, right? They are like label widget, and you got like a range widget, and this is a query. There's a button widgets, right? So what I want to do is I want to move everything in the middle, make this bigger. Okay. Oh boy. All right. So did you see this like widget, like range icon? So what you're gonna do is you can click these. They're actually gonna ask you what kind of widgets you want to create it. So widget is like little things that you have in your control panel. You have like, let's say you have like text field, label, drop down box, right? The one we're gonna use today is drop down box because you know we're gonna click these. I mean, that's technically that's drop down box, right? So next thing you want to do in there is you want to choose the data for it, right? So you click this drop down button. You want to see like a bunch of options over there, right? How do you do it? Did you see this on your attribute panel? There's a thing called data directory. So by clicking these like 3 dotted line to do the setting. So click that. So you can choose where this data, where this table coming from, right? By do the settings in there. I will just quickly do it just because it's a very easy work to do, I would say. So database name and sales volume, that's the one we have. Underscore volume and the region, right? Actual value, display value, click OK. So the information has been created, or I mean, the region information has been binded with these drop-down widgets, right? So click, go like exit, click this preview. You will see this page. has been, there's nothing has been displayed in there, but you do see this control panel has been appeared, right? So what I want to do next is I want to click this drop-down box to see what if we actually did something. So click this drop-down box. Well, no, things seems okay. After I click query, you notice there's a the connection is not made, right? I mean, this part works, but not this part, right? So two things we need to do. One thing, we make a connection. Another thing, to fix the problem, that's when we open the page, there's nothing appeared, right? So that's two tasks. Let's focus on the second task because it's much easier to do. So if you go to the control panel, if you click this like empty space, white space, or just click this parameter shortcut, there's things. Yeah, there's information saying display nothing before query. So cancel this one and go back, save, and go back to the browser and refresh. So you see the information has been changed, right? If you choose this, not gonna do anything because the linkage is not made yet, right? So that's second task. That's the first task. So the first task, because this table, where is this table coming from, or where's the data source for this table? It's coming from this SV, right? As you can see, sales volume, we have information appear. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna show you one of the documentation we provide in our official site. It's called Vin value. The name is not, the value of dropdown chat box is none, show all the data, right? If you read this through, you will find, how to do this step by step. I already know this, so just gonna go there to copy the SQL that they provide. Do I have it? I think it's somewhere there. Of course, I actually will explain this as well. So don't panic if you don't know what I'm doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna change the data connection, right? Or modify the query. So I'm gonna click the edit. So as you can see, this is a query information gonna be appeared, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do more so I can put where condition, one plus 1 equal to 1. This is quite common in FineReport. You don't see this in another application. You will find out why it's useful, especially in this case. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to ask you to read this line, the instruction about the parameters, and if the parameters is string, you need to do something else, and this one, right? So what I'm going to do is I actually okay, seems disappear. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type the curly bracket because it's the parameters, right? Followed by this line. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna check. I'm gonna do something like this. So there's a so that's what I'm gonna do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check the condition. I'm gonna check condition, which means I will check the length of something is equal to 0 or not. So the length of the something means I'm gonna check the variable. The parameters in there will be called region. I think it's uppercase. Yes. I think it's not case sensitive, but I think just for the learning purpose, just do exactly the same. So this line of code will check the length of the template parameter region to see if it's a 0 or not. Sorry, to see if the value exists or not, right? So if it exists, means we don't want to add anything for this query. So we're just gonna put quotation mark, double quotation mark, double quotation mark. And for the false, which means there's some value in there appears, right? So what I'm gonna do is actually gonna put a quotation mark in here and end. And I think the name is called region, as you can see in here. Oops. As you can see, region here, right? So what I'm gonna do, I will do region plus and I will do a single quotation mark in there just because by following this line saying that, oh, if the type of the ID is a string, right? If this is a string, so what I can do, I can click plus something. So TP, okay, I'm lazy. I will just copy paste. That's a typo can happen, and plus single quotation mark, well, with double quotation mark around it, right? So let me double check. I think that's okay. All right. So if you guys see this when you do it, right? Don't panic. This is actually something that I mentioned in the beginning. It's called it's called database parameters. So what this was asking is asking that, oh, you know what, in your query, in your query in there, they have parameters get involved.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure. What kind of question you have?
Continue, sir. Sorry.
Sorry, pardon me. Can you slow down a little bit? I'm not sure if I fully get the question though. Yes. Sorry, I didn't really hear the question though. Can you I don't know, either type the question or you can just speak loudly one more time, please.
So you can continue. I will type in messages.
All right. Well, I'll do though. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, yeah, I'm talking about the what's it called, like database parameters, right? So apparently, FineReport noticed, oh, there's a parameters called TP region. Is a database parameters. That's why it appeared in here. Of course, you can do the values in here, or you can do not do it. But I think for the production level or for the reality, you better have it just for the testing purpose, right? So that's something I would suggest to do. So I will type east. Well, I'm from north, so I'll type North China instead. So I click a preview, and you seen this North China has been appeared in here, right? So I click OK, and the information has been appeared, right? Looks okay. So okay. So what I did is just I modify this query in there and saying that, oh, there's a parameters somewhere is called TP region, and they notice, oh, this is the database parameters, and I also create these parameters outside of this query in here, and here is a template, right? Template parameters. That's why it's called TP region. So I did make a connection between this one and that one. The reason why I have this if statement because I want to handle the case that when there is no information has been selected in the first place, which means the length of the TP region is 0. You're not going to put any condition for the query, and if you do need to add this line of condition for your query. So that's why we were using 1 + 1 = 1 and this end, right? It's pretty common in FineReport. So this line of nonsense things actually can help you a lot. So that's my point. So let's see our result. So click OK, and then go to the preview. So as you can see, nothing changed. But if I choose this east, right? See the information only about the data about from the east region will be appear. North is the same, right? That's yeah. So that's about the parameters control panel, I think. And let me check if there's anything else I missed by looking at these. Yes, we have so far we have parameter control done, we have table done. Not exactly, not the color part, right? But next part will be the chart. So let's go to the chart. Chart is about the insert. I mean, we can insert. We can add a chart by clicking the insert. So insert on the top, floating elements. I just do the floating elements. If you do the cell elements, you will notice it's will be kind of ugly. You will notice why later on, I guess. But for now, I'm just going to do the floating elements. So insert a chart. So just click with any pie chart. I mean column chart. I will do this part. Like I will click the pie chart for now because I want to show you that you actually can change the chart type somewhere else. So make this smaller. And you can actually choose the type of the charts in here. So I want to, after I have this chart component, what I want to do next is I want to connect this chart with the data, right? So data is right there. Oops. Data is right there, and connect to the chart, right? Of course, we're going to looking for something also called data directory, or yeah. Did you see this data button right there? Yes, in here. Yeah, that's something when you click, and then we can choose the data source, right? So let's do the data source very quickly. Data source, database name. And when I see category, right, I get confused, like, oh, I don't know what you mean category, point out, right? So if you look at the chart, category is in here, right? So, and the series is in here, right? I think this kind of like explain the meaning of, each, option. Oops, yeah. So I think that's something that you can actually follow, especially for the beginners. So category, it will be, I don't know what that is, to be honest. Let's go to the original chart to find out. So these, so category is the name, right? So let's go to the chart. Category as a salesperson's name. And the series will be the product, if I remember this correctly. Yes. Chocolate orange juice, yes. Product. And the sales volume obviously a number. And then you notice there's like headers. No, there's a title in here, right? We don't want that just because we don't have time for it. So what you can do is you can click this style. Okay, style, and you see a title in there, right? You see all different like setup stuff in there, right? Oops, I think something. Yeah, click this style. I'll click somewhere else. Okay, style. So what I want to do is I want to cancel. I don't want the title showed up, right? And next thing I want to do is I want to maybe change the legends into a bottom or top. I don't know, top, bottom. And the next thing I want to do is the series, the color, right? So what I want to do is I think the one I was choosing is called blue something, blue business, blue. I forgot, to be honest, but I think let's choose blue purpose and purples for now. So I'm gonna click save, or just click the preview, I guess. So you see this chart has been appeared, right? I don't know if you notice that the length of this chart is a kind of off, or if the size of the chart, for example, this chart has been located in this area, right? But for the table chart, it's located in this area, right? Why is that? It's because, remember we were talking about cell extension. So the product cell actually is extendable, right? In this way. So that's why they make this very long or very big, or I mean, it just, that's why, that's extended. That's why, the actual total is over there. The total is in here. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna go to the designer and make it much smaller, and make this as longer as possible until this dotted line. Remember we were talking about this dotted line, right? If I extend it, they're gonna break this chart into, I don't know. I actually never done it, but just don't, because it's a one components, right? So So let's see what happened after. Click save, and then go to the preview, or I go to the browser and I refresh the page. So it has been seen. Oh, see, this chart has been extended in this way, right? So that's something that's about the chart. Yes, this is the chart. Another thing I want to do, it's about the parameter linkage. It's by adding another chart. So let's do another chart for now. Pie chart. Make it smaller. That's a little bit too big. And well, much smaller. So much smaller. Zoom in a little bit, and click the chart. I noticed, I forgot to mention these. You guys notice there is a dotted line in here, right? But there's a dotted line in here as well. So this is also gonna warn you to do not extend this dotted line to go to the next page. So that's something that's why I, just make my chart located even here instead of somewhere over there. So yeah. So go to this chart. Do the exactly same thing because it's pretty much the same. When I see series actually can play around. So for example, click a region, you will see 2 pie chart, right? It's like, no, I don't want 2. So I just want 1. And I will choose the series. Series will be, let's do a region this time because what I want to do is I want to actually pass in the parameters between, right? So I will just do it as a sales volume and looks okay. And style, do not want a title. Legend doesn't matter, just put on top. I don't put on bottom this time. And the color will be the same, blue, purple, yeah. And save, and click preview. So as you can see, there are 2 charts, right? And if I didn't select anything, all the information has been appeared, right? But if I select east, right, you will see the pie chart first, right? The north part was gone. And the one above also has been changed as well because they share the same data source by using same core, right? Next thing I want to do, I think is something will be really difficult to learn by yourself. I just want to quickly go through this with you guys. It's called parameters linkage, or you can call it dynamic parameters. So under this special effect, there's a things called add hyperlink. What I want to do is I actually want to create a things called dynamic parameters in here. Just saying that what I'm going to do is I click this pie chart and there is a hyperlink and the parameters has been changed based on the settings I will made in here. So let's go back, click this edit. I will click this plus sign and the parameters name called template parameters low uppercase region. So this is the tricky part. Okay, I can't do the graphing. So what I want to do is I actually gonna carefully think what I'm gonna click. Am I gonna click for this drop down box, right? Am I gonna click the value, string, integer, double, whatever? What I need to do is because for the chart, right? What I need to do is I need to select the series name, because as you can see in here, when I click in the pie chart, the value for whatever I click will change these parameters, right? So that's something. Another way to change the template parameters. Click the save, go back to the browser, reload, and then you see this is north and east, right? Entire chart, sorry, the entire table has east and north, right? If I click the North China, you will see the table has been modified. Why? Because the parameters for this template has been changed, right? If I click the east, you please pay attention on that one. You see the parameters has been changed, right? So that's something that's I want to do. That's the parameter linkage. Another thing I want to do is a hyperlink, because you can use this as a comparison with the dynamic parameters. That's why I want to show you right now, although it's not something that's important in terms of how can I say, table design, but it's something that I want to do the comparison, so you actually know, to avoid you to spend extra time on the, searching for documentation. So, the stairs, I can select these and do the do this hyperlink, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click this cell and then go for this hyperlink and plus this plus sign, right? So that's what I'm gonna do. So this has a web report. So basically web report means you're gonna go to the different reports, right? So I was just gonna select a bunch of stuff I made. I don't have time to make another one. I'm just gonna click the one I made yesterday. I don't even know what that has in there, but they have date information, right? So April 12B, right? So I'm gonna click that, click OK. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna passing these parameters from April 13 to April 12B, right? So this is called TP region. So that's the tricky part. What you're gonna do is you're actually gonna click this formula instead, because you don't really see these. So what I want to do is actually, how can I say this? So I click these C5 cells, right? And they're gonna go to a hyperlink, and I want to, every time when I click this hyperlink, I'm gonna jump into a different web report with these parameters get involved, right? So what's the value for these parameters need to be set in this way, like triple dollar sign, because triple dollar sign basically means the current value for whatever you click. So that's something that I want to show you, because if you search this from documentation, it's not that easy, I would say. So click OK, and then there are little star in there, and I click save, and I will go to this April B, 12B. I don't really know what that has in there, but I think well, this is April 12B, and you see these parameters, exactly the same name, called TP region, right? And just to double check if we have a parameters in there has been created. No, see, this parameter, this report doesn't have a template parameters, right? But we do have something that's showed in here. Oh, I forgot to mention that if I double click it, you see this dollar sign in there. Dollar sign means dollar sign plus parameters. That's something that's in the FineReport as a default. As you can see, this fine row, fine position, all these things have a dollar sign in front, right? So that's something I need to point out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click preview, and I click, well, you see the color has been changed, right? So I click this, well, go to different report, and see the information has been appeared in there. So that's pretty much the parameters that have been passing between these two reports. Since the time limit, I still have one more things to show you guys. It's about how to share this with your team, right? So let's pretend so far we have all this report has been designed and finished, right? We want to post this online, or we want to post this share this with the team, right? How do you do it? So under the server, there's a things called platform management. Let me see if we can move this a little bit. Under the server, there's an option called platform management. Yeah, I can't really do it, so we're just gonna do it in this way. So what you're gonna do is that you're actually gonna go this decision-making platform, and of course you can customize many things, right? So as admin account, you can actually manage the directory on your left-hand side. So there is a directory, and you can add your reports in there, right? So for example, what you need to do, add a template, select the file, April 13th. Today is April 13th, I think, yes. Click OK. And you see this, you can rename it, right? You can say FineReport demo. Click OK. So you see FineReport demo has been appeared in here, right? If you go to the directory, you see this report. And if you click it, you'll see this report has been mounted or has been shared in this platform. Just in a second. Or let's do it differently. Directory. Click the preview template. Let me see what's going on right there. Okay, let me do it one more time to see if you're actually gonna fix the issue. So click the template, find the 13 April 13, click OK, and the form is right there, right? Looks okay, and then fresh and wait. Yes. All right. Okay. So apparently, the form is appeared in there. If we click this hyperlink, it will go to a different page. And I notice, I don't know if you noticed, this link actually is already appeared in the decision-making platform, right? It's over there. But if I delete it, you actually can still access it, I think. So for example, if I removed it, right? So this is April 12B, right? If I click OK, I think you still can modify it. And I think you still can access it. So if I click this, you don't see this like 404 or 500, internet errors. So well, this one's here, right? But let me try this one if it works okay. Right. Okay. So this one, seems okay. This one seems okay. Yeah, I think the reason why I'm actually recording Zoom right now, so that's why PC kind of slow. So yeah, apologize for that part. So I would say that's everything I prepared for today, like the training section. And I think we just, right on time, finish everything on time. That's good.